Welcome to you all. My name is Andrew Chung. I am artistic producer of London Symphonia, and today I've got with me our special guest artist for the upcoming concert, Genevieve Fisher. Hello, Genevieve.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Us too. We're excited to have you. And I've also got Scott Good, our composer and arranger in residence. Hello, Scott.
Hi, Andrew, and hello to all.
Great. So let's get right into it. This concert, we've never done a country music concert before as London Symphonia, so we're very excited. So take me back, Genevieve, to those first conversations we had about performing with London Symphonia. We were looking for a country music performer with London ties, and not everyone feels comfortable in a concert of this nature, reimagining your songs from your catalog with orchestral arrangements. Um, so what makes you interested in collaborating with the symphony orchestra?
Yeah, so when my manager had reached out and said, "Hey, we've got something really cool in the hopper," he started giving me a bit of a rundown, and I just had this moment of like, I feel like I've been maybe manifesting this for many, many years. Um, it's funny, ever since I was little, I always dreamt of doing really like elaborate shows. Even as a little girl, I would always think of like really cool things I could do. And I grew up with classical music. I was classically trained with vocals, piano, and violin. So for me, this kind of feels like full circle a little bit. I did go to St. Mary's Choir and Orchestra School, and then I did the music extension program at Catholic Central High School. So classical music has always been a huge part of my life. So this is just really, really cool for me to be able to be on a stage with a symphony playing my music. It feels very full circle for me.
And you feel like you're in the pocket still, like embracing these new experiences and it's an extension of stuff you're already doing. We're not bringing you in to kind of sing crazy opera or something like this. This is your material, and we're
No.
thrilled about this. So for London Symphonia fans who don't yet know you, so
Oh.
thinking back to your early days as a young performer, what made you gravitate towards country music specifically?
So I feel like I grew up around country music. My nana and grandpa were huge country music fans. They were always playing country music at their house. So I grew up with it. I've always loved all different genres of music, but for me, I felt like I was drawn to country music in so many different aspects, like vocally. I just love that kind of southern drawl in country music. Um, when I think of artists like Patsy Cline and Brenda Lee, I think of like these sultry, beautiful voices. And I just feel like the type of voice I had, it just worked really well with country music. But again, grew up with it and always loved it. Loved the storytelling of country music. And it just came so naturally to me. So yeah, that's what kind of brought me into the genre.
So do you have memories of sitting in the living room with your relatives and listening to country music actively together and kind of bouncing ideas off of each other? Or what do you
So
remember
for
that?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, what comes to mind is being in my nana's kitchen, and they had this like intercom system in their house that was also a radio, and always country music playing. So for me, it was just such a big part of my childhood. I spent a ton of time with my nana, and she's just always been a big part of my music. And yeah, I think she played a really big role in my career.
And so how do you define country music? Like, there are country music stars that kind of walk the line and then it turns into pop, or pop that kind of turns into country. And is it clear in your head, or is it just a general feel?
It's actually funny that you bring this up because I've seen recently some country artists talking about the genre, and it's like, what is country music anymore? It's kind of funny, it's really shifted throughout the years. It's gone through a lot of transition. So when I first started, I feel like it was really more traditional country still. Like when I think of Taylor Swift in her early days, it was like she was very country. Shania Twain, again, very country, but she was also playing a little bit with that pop side of it as well. Um, but yeah, when I came into it, I was sort of writing and performing, I would say, a bit more traditional country. And then as things kind of progressed and as I was releasing more to radio, I did notice a shift in my music where I was really trying to, have those pop aspects to quote unquote have a radio song, a radio friendly song. And my producer's based out of Nashville, so he's very in tune with like what the sound needs to be, for radio at the time, right? So yeah, it's just transitioned a lot, and now I find country music, it's pulled in so many directions. You'll hear songs that are very traditional now, some that are still pop, and some that are like bluesy, almost R&B sounding. So
Mhm.
it's kind of cool actually. It's being pulled in so many different directions.
It's like classical music and like an orchestra, right? I mean, we like to pull ourselves in different directions too. I totally get it. Just enlarging the art form. So, Scott, when you were first getting familiar with Genevieve's music, what stood out to you about her music that would translate particularly well to orchestral versions of her songs?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's lots of drama in the songs, and so when you have an orchestra there, it's great to be able to enhance drama. And as Genevieve was mentioning, she's working with these incredible producers down in Nashville. So the recordings themselves actually sometimes they use orchestral instruments, but they certainly use a lot of layered keyboards and synthesizers and other kinds of effects that create this incredibly lush, big sonority. So it was great to be sort of tap into that sound that was there and translate it to an orchestra. So those are some thoughts, and I totally agree. Like I'm almost like, is this a country concert? I mean, there's just so many different influences going on in it. I'd also throw in there's some rock, like I'm kind of a rock guy, so I like that, rock and sound. And Genevieve's newest single, "Stop Looking," which I think we're premiering, which is very cool. It's almost like it's like in a gospel style, really, and that's just one thing I wanted to say that sort of variety of songs made it really appealing to me. And I'm going to just quickly go back and reference something you said, Andrew, before about, are we bringing Genevieve to come in and do an opera? I kind of think we're coming in to do a kind of an opera because I think there's a real scope to all these songs and the way they work together.
Mhm.
And so, from my classical sensitivities, I'm thinking if I'm going to write an opera, well, there's going to be big tutti with everyone, and then there's going to be these intimate moments, and there's going to be recitative, there's going to be some interludes in the orchestra, all to keep a sort of a large arch going on. So, I do feel there's a little bit of an influence of an operatic kind of concept going on here. So, just
Mhm.
wanted to throw that
So
in.
we're gonna start calling Genevieve Diva now,
Yeah.
and on that note, we'll have a great time on stage. Uh, so, I think I'm guessing you're happy to have your bandmates with you on stage, along with London Symphonia. Must be rewarding to have these connections with these great performers you worked with for years, and for them to enjoy that symphonic experience as well. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have my one guitar player, Todd Taylor, Josh Try, Derek Goodwin is my drummer. So these three guys have played like a huge part in my career. Todd Taylor's actually from Vancouver. He moved to London, lived here for several years, and he was my main guitar player for the years that he was living here. He's now moved back, so we're actually flying him from Vancouver to be here at the show with me. He's just such an incredible musician and person, and I couldn't have had anyone else on the show with me. Josh Try, again, such a phenomenal player. Um, he's also played a huge part in my career in the last few years. He's just a great guy. And Derek Goodwin, again, phenomenal drummer. He's been my drummer for, gosh, I would say upwards of like 12, 13 years maybe. So yeah, these are guys that know my music really well. And it just feels really special to have them be a part of a show that it does actually feel like this is something that maybe I'll never experience again. So to have them on stage with me is really cool.
I think it's just the beginning. Um, Now, Scott, you like working with like Genevieve and the band, right? Like so
Yeah,
you
it's
so
true.
that when you're arranging, you're thinking about Genevieve's voice, you're thinking about whether she's on keyboard or whether she's singing, standing, and
Yeah.
you're thinking about the band and you're thinking about the orchestra. What does the band bring in terms of arranging?
Yeah, in terms of arranging, and I've had actually extended conversations with Todd and Josh and Derek. It's been really great. And I guess one thing that I'm really hoping that those three musicians will bring is that sort of intuitive sense that they have with the songs. So my job as an arranger is to try and make it a space in which the orchestra is playing very comfortably and in the way that orchestras play, but the band is also, while they're playing with the orchestra, feel really free to be their kind of band selves. And bands, it sort of depends on what song, but certain songs you'll sense there's a little more freedom. It's maybe not played the exact same way every time, or the lead guitarist and Todd, he might be feeling something at the moment. And it's nice to have some space where those players can play in that real intuitive way. So that's been really important to me. And, sometimes I have to talk with them about, okay, it's like normally on your guitar, you're being very assertive here and doing all kinds of stuff, but I got all these violins over here. And so they're going to take that role. Maybe we'll shift your role a little bit. And so we have discussions about that. And I'd say, maybe the most crucial role is that they're going to bring that feel of the song, that undercurrent of the rhythm and the vibe. And so when they're giving that to the orchestra will hear it, and orchestra musicians are great at this. They will hear it and they'll bring it into themselves and then play outwards. So the band actually plays a really a crucial role in making this concert happen for sure.
Wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
we have some very special guests. We have got 45 singers from the St. Mary Choir and Orchestra School here in London. We're really excited to have them join in this country music extravaganza. So,
Yeah.
Genevieve, you went to this school.
Hi.
You participated in the music program, and tell us a little bit about that time, what you remember.
Yeah, oh my gosh, St. Mary's like an incredible experience there. Being able to be in school, but also focusing so much on music was just huge for me, right? Because it's such a passion of mine. So, um, yeah, I feel like it truly helped shape the artist and singer that I am today. So again, a very full circle moment to have these students be a part of this show. It's really special, and I know it's going to add a lot to the songs that they're singing on. I'm
I
very
can't
excited.
Yeah, I can't wait for that first meeting when they're going to meet you, someone who's had having a successful career in music as a singer. Scott, can you tell me, like, we've worked with this school before. They've attended our
Yeah.
open dress rehearsals before. They're particularly keen. You've
Yes.
worked with and spoken with their music teacher. Tell me a little bit about that dynamic.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the St. Mary's schools brought actually their strings. So what I found out is a lot of those the choristers that are going to be come to us are also just playing stringed instruments. So they're incredibly active music program. I'm really impressed. So they've been coming to many of our attend rehearsals. So they show up and watch a rehearsal, and then we talk about it a bit afterwards. And they're always so focused and attentive, and they ask the most interesting questions, showing to me that they're really, really engaged with what's going on. So I'm just incredibly happy that Naomi Simpson, the director, is bringing her choir to us. It's plenty good time for that to happen. So the perfect opportunity to get them. And I just love having young people on stage. I think it just brings a really great energy. I think the songs they're singing on it really suits for their age and their voices, and it'd be really quite special.
Yeah, we've got multiple layers of special, let me tell you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then we've got this, you'll be performing a brand new single. I think it was released in March. Like it's super hot off the press.
Yes.
Stopped Looking.
Yes.
Um, Tell me about this song.
Yeah, so I actually co-wrote this song with two of my good friends. They're both artists. The one girl's name is Shantea, and the other one is Mallory Johnson. They both are Canadian, but they live in Nashville. They're very active in their careers and phenomenal songwriters as well. So yeah, we wrote this song back in, oh my gosh, let me get my bearings straight. 21 or 22, I'm trying to remember. Um, but yeah, I remember we wrote this via Zoom. It was, well, I feel like COVID was done at this point, but I had, at the time, just my one son, Harrison, and it was hard for me to actually leave and um, go and write. So yeah, we wrote this via Zoom, and I had gone in just with this idea, a piano part, and this idea of stopped looking, kind of about the inspiration was kind of my husband and I, our relationship, and how we met, and how our relationship kind of flourished. Um, but yeah, two really great writers, and I knew going into the writing process that I really wanted the song to have kind of a Chris Stapleton sound. So a bit more of like a bluesy, but also like that, exactly like Scott said, like it's got that gospel kind of sound as well. And yeah, so I recorded the song last year. Actually, Josh Try recorded my vocals, who's going to be playing guitar on the show. So we recorded my vocals here, and then my producer did the rest of the work back in Nashville. So Jason Massey produced it. Um, so yeah, a lot of moving parts with this song, and then really cool to have my friend Shantea, who was one of the co-writers, actually sing harmonies on it, and her and my producer Jason actually kind of created these layered vocals to create that gospel harmony. So it actually sounds like there is a choir singing, but it's only two people, which is really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I was going to ask about that the choir. What choir did you use? But yeah,
And it
that is absolutely amazing.
when him and I were chatting about the song, I was like, I really hear a choir. He's like, that might be tough to try to get a whole choir to sing it. And then I was chatting with Shantae. She's like, no, we'll do it. We got this. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's really, really cool. It's quite amazing, just how different pieces kind of come together and make just kind of a beautiful sound.
Wow, that's that's an amazing way to write a song. A whole continental effort. It's really quite awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much to you both for joining me today for this interview, but more importantly, for just embarking on that journey of putting together a concert with Genevieve Fisher and London Symphonia, the orchestral version of your catalog. I'm so excited. And so this will be our concert being performed live from Metropolitan United on May the 3rd. Thanks again to you both.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Andrew.